no one need to have an introduction to LG. LG is making India pride for more than 63 years. And at Hannover Messe, I should tell you that, any Indian who is going everywhere and coming to Hall 4 will have that pride in their mind. And we should thank the entire LG team to make such a great stall here. The presentation is very important for any time, to have that aesthetics, which we can see in the LG products also, that is also getting represented in this stall. So we are having with us Dr. Jai, who is a third generation entrepreneur. Sir, thanks for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for visiting us in Hannover Show. And thank you for all your kind words. For us, encouragement and support from our customers and people and stakeholders from India is what makes a critical difference for us. So thank you.
Sir, basically there are so many Indian companies, hundred thousands of Indian companies are there. But LG have taken a different, I will say, path, by establishing a subsidiary here in Europe.
Yeah.
And today the result is there. But taking that investment, taking that step to invest, what was the thought at that time?
So I think you need to wind back to where we started and what happened. So company was started in 1960. Typical of most companies of that era in India, we grew horizontally. The licensing system was such, they gave you a license to make some products, only that much quantity, right? The minute you came to that capacity, you had to make another product. So that's why if you look at all Indian companies, they will be making a whole range. They were used to make cement, steel, automotive, software, salt, all kinds of products, because that was the nature of the thing, horizontal diversification. 1990, when the whole transformation happened in India, India got integrated with the rest of the world. That model, the licensing system was dismantled. All of a sudden, all Indian companies had to deeply reflect on what their core was, right? They could not sustain so many businesses. So the same thing with LG. So in the early 90s, we took a decision that we will focus on compressors and automotive equipment. We were in 8 other businesses. We either sold them or shut them down, right? And then we looked at the compressor business. The Indian market was small, right? But even to compete in the Indian market, in the new reality where all the global competitors were going to come in, our technology, our quality, our manufacturing was not good enough to stay relevant even in India. But in order to be relevant and competitive in India, we had to invest a lot of money, and Indian market was not big enough. So logically, it made sense for us to build a global enterprise, right? So that's how the journey started. Initial stage was to build the back-end technology, quality, manufacturing, people, talent, efficiency. All the foundations had to be first built, which is what we did. It took us almost 20 years to do that, right? Then we started investing into building markets outside the country. We looked at very focused markets: North America, Europe, Australia, a few Southeast Asian countries, and India. India is our mother market, core market. So we started focusing on these markets and we started building. Now, if you want to be a global player, you can't be sitting in India trying to do some export through some distributor. You have to be in the market. You have to provide local support, local connections, local relationships have to be built. And that's really the genesis of our presence in Europe, right? So we have assembled an outstanding team of people here. The whole of Europe, we have close to about 120, 130 people working in the LG business in Europe. All these are experts with very strong relationship with customers and distributors in the compressor business. So this is a very serious thing. I mean, this is not like focus on India and do some international business as a bonus. Actually, the global business is central to us, right? And that's what we are trying to do.
I'm understanding it is not just a fluke. It's a well planned strategy which was executed over time.
Right. Absolutely.
So yeah, I think this is something, a case story for many, because when I go and visit many of our customers, the first thing they were asking is, okay, we are good in India, we have a lot of other challenges in India, price and all this, but people know that when you go out, if you give a quality product and you get the price, so everyone want to go to the international market, but they don't know how to do that. Even I was not knowing that when the questions was coming to me. So we also took a step to come to Hannover, look at what is happening, try to promote the Indian companies. I'm telling you, this is a case story. What LG is doing, many people can follow that and try to bring that change in their company.
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at it, the global opportunities are exponentially higher than the Indian opportunity. Obviously, because India is only one country. Globe is made up of hundreds of countries. So the opportunity is more. But what works in India does not work outside, right? Each country has its own nuances, its own requirements. So you can't do something that is built in India and then say, I'm going to just sell it. Then you will get incremental business, maybe in Africa, Middle East, that kind of. But to go to the core markets, which is Europe, America, certain key countries, you need to build a completely different organization, even in India, which is not difficult to do. But it takes time. You need to invest for the long term. You can't, it cannot be a instant nirvana. Short term is not going to happen. So what we have done is consistently invested over the last 25, 30 years, right, towards this goal. Right? And we are moving towards it. So when we started our journey in 1990, really when the transformation, when you took the top 100 companies in the compressors, we were not even there. In 1990, our list was, we were not even in that list. Today, we are number 6 in the world, right? But it was a slow journey and there are challenges. So people see us and say, oh, we are successful. All this success is on the foundation of hundreds of failures, right? And you can't say, I want to avoid failures. It's not possible, right? The main thing is to keep focus on the goal. Failures will happen, you'll learn from it, right? Which are very good.
Sir, Europe is a successful journey for you. Same way, you also have subsidiaries, as you told, in America, in Australia and all those things. And you compete, as you told, the different places, different strong players. Aesthetics, the kind of products. So, what are the major challenges globally LG is facing today?
See, the main challenge today is, when you look at it, it's an unknown brand, relatively speaking, right? LG is not a known brand like the other major competitors, right? So unknown brand, and it is made in India, correct? So people have a certain connotation, which is normal. It takes a while. You look at Japan in the 60s and 70s, Korea in the 80s and 90s, they had the same mentality. People perceive Japanese products as low quality, Korean products as low, but they've come a long way. So this is a journey that we have to go through. So that's a challenge, but that's okay, right? There are so much more opportunity other than these challenges. So you focus on your strengths, right? So what we do, if you look at our products here, we don't make products for the discount market. We don't want to sell products which are made for cheap, That's only in our estimate 20% of the market work. 80% of the customers buy on value, right? So we've got to design and make products for value, right? Which means efficiency, which means quality, which means oil, less harm to the environment. So if you look at the build quality of our machines, it's for that purpose, right? And that's why we are successful. If we had come to Europe and made a cheap product, right, we would not be successful. It's not possible.
Do you also talk about total cost of ownership?
Yes.
Commit to your customers that you take LG product, they will get the benefit out of it.
Correct.
So that is more important, right?
Absolutely. So if you look at a compressor, 75 to 80% of the life cycle cost is energy, electricity that was used to run the compressor. People think that cost of the compressor is only 9-10%. 75 to 80% is electric. So we have to be the most efficient, right? And by bringing in that efficiency, we bring that value to the customer, right? And if you look at many of our machines here, they're the best in class as far as efficiency is concerned. Right? So
So that makes sense that, wherever we see that, LG is always better with efficiency in our core.
Absolutely.
That's
our focus. Yeah.
That is the focus.
Yeah.
Sir, coming back, you told you are the third generation entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So it's 63 years. How do you see this journey and what is the next?
I think the journey in the past has been in the context of a different environment. India was a different environment. The regulatory envelope was very different. So we went through that, and it was not easy to do business, but it was a different set of challenges, right? That transition has happened. Now India is now liberalized. Now the next transition is going to be where India becomes, naturally, when as a country, when we aspire to develop, we will also become more expensive, which is natural, right? Which is every citizen wants a better standard of living. Better standard of living means they have to earn more. When they earn more, then the country becomes expensive, right? So our challenge would be to say, how can we still remain competitive even while Indians become more expensive, right? We should not build our future on the assumptions that Indians are going to be cheap, right? And it's not good for us, right?
It's not good for
It's
us.
not good for us as citizens of the country. We want the Indians to be expensive, right? So therefore, in our business, our entire strategy is how to make Indians expensive, right? And still be competitive.
In the global market.
In the global market, Indian market.
In Indian market
also, right? So our goal is not to make profits on the back of cheap Indians. We want to make profits on the back of expensive Indians, right? So that, I think, is the next phase of transformation.
I don't know how our viewers are going to listen to this, but I am telling you, as a person who talks about manufacturing, this is a completely different insight. We always talk about, not about India being cheap. I also don't want to use this word cheap. It is not very positive, right?
No.
We can optimize our cost.
Absolutely.
And we have certain price advantage which we can give to the global market, I believe. But as you rightly said, it is not about, we cannot stop, right? The growth comes with those things, and missionaries like you are the one who makes all of us proud. People like me inspired to work more. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Hari.
Keep blessing us.
Thank you.
And take the pride of India more ahead.
Thank you very much.
And let me tell you, these are the unsung heroes of India.
No, it's not me. It's my team. The whole team that is here, because I'm just one speaking box, right? But the results come from all the people who are. We've got an excellent team of people all over the country, all over the world.
Sir, I tell always, I'm also an entrepreneur, I tell that there is two fights or two struggles one entrepreneur do. One is that an entrepreneur do it by establishing himself. Okay, I am having an idea, I need to establish. I believe 90% entrepreneurs get success into it. Next is that, making the entrepreneurship into enterprise. And that you cannot do it alone. Right. You are gone.
Absolutely.
It happens with the people. We are going through that challenge, and I'm telling you, LG have crossed over that. I've seen Chris, who heads your European business. I'm telling you the kind of passion what he brings in. I'm telling you, I think that is from top to bottom, right?
Absolutely.
So what I mean to say is, the courage what you give to people is what matters, and we need people like you to inspire more Indian to take that risk and do better for the world, do better for Indians, and make us all rich.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.